Whoa, sick shirt, bro. Okay, slow. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mr. Eazy YouTube channel. It's been a while. I took the fall off to do some hunting, and that's pretty much what it's consisted of, is hunting and a lot of Xbox, I guess. And time is coming down to the point where the weather's starting to change, the snow's melting, so I think it's time that we get back into focusing on the S10. And I got a lot of new stuff for it, a lot of upgrades, and just stuff that needed to be done a long time ago that now I'm just finally doing. And I think this coming season is going to be a great season, as in there's a lot of nice newer events coming out that is more suitable for my truck. I think my truck is at the point where it's going to be really competitive in some of these races. So I think we're going to go to those, and we're just going to give it a whirl. But as of today, I have a whole bunch of new stuff I have to open. And that's the current state of the truck. The heads are off of it. As in the last video, you guys all know that we lifted the heads. I had PRC heads on it before, and I ended up selling those. So the PRC heads on it were the PRC 2.5 heads. They were really good for the 5.3 I was running, and I never had an issue with them. It was just that I had a couple engines go out last year, and we ended up building a 6.0 board out to a 370. So with the 370 and the 88 millimeter turbo I had, it was just an opportunity to get a better flowing head that wasn't a factory cast aluminum. So I ended up reaching out to a company called Total Engine Airflow. I was speaking to a guy named Anthony, and he hooked me up with some new heads, and we got them in the boxes, and I am going to open all these boxes for you guys today. There's a couple big ones, a couple smaller ones here. So to start off with today, we got a new upper control arm. I did a tube front end in front of the arms last winter, and underneath the engine where the cross member is, I cut that out and made that a tube part. I'm not no fabricator, so when I did, the frame did twist a little. So I ended up needing to get a shorter A-arm, and this is just a cheap dirt truck IMCA 8-inch A-arm. And on these S10s, you're supposed to run dual 8.5s on the on both sides. They're universal, you know, so this flips over and just works on both sides. But since I cut that and the frame moved when I was doing the tube portion of the front end last winter, we ran out of room on the bolts to shim it to align it correctly. So this shorter A-arm will be the result in fixing my alignment issue that I've been running into. And to go along with that, we got some Afco longer ball joints. Now, a lot of the S10 guys, they've been swearing about these, how much better they are. They're a 2-inch ball joint, and they say that it helps with the travel of the front end and just overall performs better than a shorter ball joint. So we're going to give these a try this winter as well. And They're pretty simple. They just bolt right into the upper control arms. So we'll give those a try. Got two of them, one for each side. Then along waited for us, we got our Sweet Shroud red, white, and blue parachute. The truck is really patriotic. I have a couple friends that are in the military, and you know, you can't support those guys enough, guys and girls enough. So I'm gonna represent the red, white, and blue on the parachute of the S10 this year as well. Because why not? America, right? I also reached out to Garage Built Racing. Tyson Williams and Joseph Thomas are the guys over there that work behind the scenes there. And I was running out of fuel pump last year, and I think that was mainly the most of my issues at the end of the season. So I called those guys, and they hooked me up with a brand new Air Motive 5.0 pump. This pump is the new brushless system. They claim that these pumps are probably going to be everything that I'm going to need for my power level that I'm trying to reach. For the next box, I run a Holley High Ram air intake. So here is a Sheer Fabrications air to water intercooler. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to run it this season or not, as I already have a lot of other things planned for the truck. But if I ever have the wild hair and decide to change it up, I got it. These things are really cool, and they help so much with the air intake temps. And it's pretty heavy, but you know, the air to air nowadays is just not performing how the truck needs it to perform. It works good. I've never had an issue with it, but this will guarantee the lower air intake temps, and hopefully, you know, when the air intake temps are lower, the horsepower goal is easier to achieve. So we got this guy ready to go whenever I decide to bite the bullet and actually do the system on it. I'd still have to buy an ice box for the truck and a pump for the icebox tank. But other than that, you know, a couple hoses, and this would be easily to achieve and finish on the truck. And finally, we get to my most favorite part of today, and it is the opening my new heads. Now, Anthony over here at Total Engine Airflow, he hooked me up. We spec'd everything out for my engine, my converter, and what my power goals were, and he did what he had to do. And I've had these heads since November, and it is now February, the end of February, and I am now just going to open these for the very first time. It's been killing me not to open these, and today is the first time. These are an aftermarket casting 235, and they got powdered valve guides and a little bit oversized valves, I believe. I don't know all the fine definitions of them. Dual beehive springs, and they're for a normal block. They're not a 6-bolt head. And these are those. I know they changed the spark plug angle, the way the spark plug goes in. They changed the angle of that. And these things are flashy. Got the trick flow on the front, show everybody off. Got that nice settled port job that everybody dies for. Dual beehive springs. I just can't wait to see the power difference from just bolting these on and going for it. The truck made awesome power last year, fuel pump was our issue. And now with that new fuel pump, brand new heads that flow better, I don't see no problem in maybe doing 1200 horsepower real easily. So that is those heads. Of course, I got 2 of them here. And then I'll box this all up, and then we'll open the last and big piece of my new parts that I got. And now to the big piece. This comes from a guy named Jesse Lee. He owns Deviance Inc. He specializes these for the S10 platform, 1st gen, 2nd gen, you know, S10 Blazer, S10 trucks. And he makes these homemade, and it's the lightest one on the market for the S10 series platform. And I have been dying to get this because this supports the whole front end, and on S10 platforms, our headlights, our grill, and just everything that goes on the front of the trucks plugs into this, as in, you know, like clips and a couple bolts. It just clips right in. And what this is an aluminum core support. Now, he claims these are about 4 pounds. I want to say it's a little bit lighter than that, but it is a direct bolt-in assembly. And all you got to do is take your old core support out and put this in. You gain, I think he claims, 4 more inches of radiator space. Radiator's supposed to go in here. You get 4 more inches of clearance out of this. And all these little tabs in here is where my headlights, my grill, and everything bolt into. And this will just all plug and play, go right here on the front of the truck, and it will hold everything into place. The bumper, the grill, the headlights. And I don't really have much up here, you know, because I have a bed mounted radiator, but these core supports, I haven't quite weighed one factory, but I think they're right at 28 pounds. I do have a little cut out of it, but they're just big, bulky. They got this big old huge thing over here that's just like stamped pressed steel holding it together. It's got like 2 layers right in here, and on the bottom side it's got another like big box chamber all the way across the bottom that with the new one it won't have it. So I'm going to take a lot of weight off the front of the truck, which is desired. The truck scales poorly the way it is. The truck weighs 3,560 pounds, and 1,900 pounds of that is on the front of the truck. It's not ideal. It does really shift weight pretty good for what it is, but if I could get it a little bit lighter on the nose, it will perform a lot better. It'll leave a lot better on the street, and it'll probably handle a little more power off the whole launch and everything as well. Also, to go with the big old huge pile of parts I got, I did pick up a spare set of doors and fenders for the truck. Now, these are not probably going to go on the truck. They're more for testing purposes. When I first built the truck, I didn't know what I was doing. So I took the inner fender wells and I put some thinner sheet metal in here just to kind of clean it up, because there's a whole bunch of holes and stuff in here. And on this side, I had to cut it because the turbo sits up in here. So I had to cut it all out, and it's pretty much just the outer skin now. I did a poorly cut job. And with the new radiator support, core support, I wanted to get new fenders so I could practice cutting everything out, so I could get it better than what I have and make it look a lot cleaner too. And to go with the doors, I have the doors all hacked up like this. To go with the doors, I have manual crank up windows. So you have to grab a little tool. I have it off because it gets in the way of my cage. So I just take it off and then roll the windows down or up. I want to gut the whole door out and then take the crash bar out that's sitting right there. Those they say those are 5 to 6 pounds on the doors. And I just want to gut it out so it's just a skin, but I want to keep the glass in it and I want to keep the window to go up and down. So, you know, if I do go drive on the street and I want the windows down, I will be able to do that. And I think I haven't showed this, but on my last turbo setup before last winter, I had up and forward headers. Now, they were Cerakoted. They worked well. It's just that the up and forward was kind of farmerized and not really clean looking. So last winter I had Huggy Fab do a whole new turbo kit, and we went with the Hooker Black Hearts, and we did those forward and down to clean the setup up a lot. Well, when I had the up and forward headers, they rested like right on top of the valve covers. And you know, with a turbo application, out the exhaust, the headers get really, really hot. And what happened was the headers got so hot and ended up cooking the powder coat off of the valve covers. So for a couple years, I've been running the valve covers and they just had cooked paint on them. I have a buddy that lives real close to me. He's really good at paint and body work, does a lot of PDR. He actually just opened up his new shop, and I will put a tag in the description below. But he got my valve covers and he made them beautiful again. They're really nice, black and shiny. They got the Mr. Eazy S10 in them, and this will just make the truck look so much better from when the hood's off of it. They just rest right here on the valve, on the heads. And it was just something that needed to happen. It makes the truck just the truck how it is, than just plain black how they were. These things are shiny, and they are really going to catch the eyes of people just walking by. And I can't thank Randy enough for doing that for me. They look amazing. So I hope you guys liked everything that I got for the S10. I've been working hard and trying to get the parts all round up for this build. It's been kind of a slow winter as I've been hunting nonstop. Actually, just a couple weeks ago, I got back from Texas when they were having their snowstorm, and I just got back from going down there and hog hunting. It was a first for me, and that was pretty awesome. So I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of that in the future as well. But that's all the parts I have for the S10, and I believe the next time you guys see me, I will be putting the engine back together. It's only gonna, you know, it's a pretty simple thing to do. I've done it quite a few times, so it's not going to be hard. Just time consuming, and I need the motivation to do it. But the next time you see that, I will be putting that engine back together with the new heads. I got brand new LS9 head gaskets. I'm gonna try copper spraying them for the first time, since people have been telling me non-stop to copper spray those gaskets. So I'm going to do that. But before I go, I forgot to mention that I'm on Instagram, and you can follow me on that platform as well. But on Instagram, there's a page called S10 Live. It's all about S10 Blazers and everything to do with them. It's a big page, and they had a vote to see who had the best SUV of the year and truck of the year. And I ended up being voted the truck of the year. And I couldn't do that without all you guys voting for me. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope more and better things come out of this. And it was actually the first time that a second gen S10 won the truck of the year. So they were pretty proud of that. I guess a lot of first gen trucks have been winning that award. And you guys voted me to be the first one to win the truck of the year in a second gen. So I thank you guys a lot for that, and the support really helps. But for now, I guess next time you guys see me, we'll be putting the truck back together. We'll be putting the fuel pump, the new system on. We'll be putting a new parachute in and the radiator support. And if I bite the bullet and buy a nice tank, we'll be putting the Holley High Ram Sheer Fab intercooler on there. So stay tuned, like this video, subscribe, and share it. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.